Welcome back. We're here to talk about Saturday's Premier League match between Sunderland and Tottenham. Matt, Sunderland still looking for their first win, but do you think they'll be happy with their performances overall?
I think they were the first two games. Obviously, last time out against QPR, they're probably going to be around them in the table, aren't they? So they probably would have expected to win that game. Well, certainly not lose it anyway. But the first two games, if they drew with United, picked up a good point. Points-wise, it hasn't been great, but it hasn't been disastrous either. I think Gaspoy will look at the performances of his overall team and think, we're going to do all right this season, so be pleased.
Pascal, Tottenham, they started well, 2 wins, but then they got found out a little against Liverpool.
Yeah, that's been the story the last couple of seasons, really, isn't it? They sort of look electric one game, and then if they come up against one of the better teams, they sort of lose it a bit, and they don't look quite as good as them. So, I just can't really see this season, unless they start improving against the top 4, if they're going to get into the top 4 themselves.
Matt, interesting deadline day for Sunderland. Missed out on Barini, but brought in Ricardo Alvarez. Do you think that's a good signing?
Like you say about Barini, I think that's a big shame, but to bring in Alvarez, the fans would have been excited by that. Remember, he got linked with Arsenal a couple of seasons ago before he went to Inter Milan. He was sort of one of the most in-demand sort of playmakers, as you will, in European football. So to get him in, to convince him to come to Sunderland, I think that's what they needed in there, because with Catamol, he's started the season really well, hasn't he? But he's never going to sort of contribute in terms of assists or goals, as you will. But to bring him in and into that team, I think he'll do really well there, thrive. I think he's got the ability to play in the Premier League, to do well.
And Tottenham team news, Dyer and Rose are both doubts for the weekend. Do you think they could be struggling defensively?
Could be. Both of those players have had really good starts, so that if both of them are out, that is a particularly big blow. Dyer especially scored those 2 goals in the first 2 games, and then Rose. If he's out, that does give Ben Davies a chance to come in and make his full debut after a summer switch. And if he can start playing games, he would have expected, after making that switch, to be playing a lot more than he has. So he'll really want to impress.
And further forward, Adebayo, I know you've got misgivings over him.
Yeah, I'm just not sure that if you can be a top 4 side if he's your main striker week in, week out, because some weeks he can look really good, then others he'll just be completely off. And if Soldado's not firing and not really being chosen by Pochettino, then if Adebayo was starting every week, I don't think Spurs can rely on him to score goals week in, week out.
Well, how about this week? Do you see them winning this match?
I think it'll be quite a tight game. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Matt?
I'm going to have Spurs just winning this game. This is the sort of game they've often won down the years, haven't they? They've struggled against the top teams, but they usually do sort of win these type of games. I back them to do that. I'm going 2-1 Spurs.
I'm going to go for 2-0 Spurs. As you say, they do it against the lower teams, don't they? So going for 2 Tottenham wins and 1 draw. Thanks for watching.